Hi there, it's Sharon Hess, and I am here with absolutely fabulous, wonderful Birgit Tan. And you know what? I probably butchered her name. I'll let her say it for you. Because you know, I'm a Southern gal and my accent doesn't always come out right. Anyway, I happened to have the pleasure of meeting her when I went and spoke at the Women's Economic Forum in London. And she's just an amazing, fascinating woman. She does so many things, but the main thing that she does, and the reason I wanted to introduce her to you guys, is that she helps people that are going through major changes in their life. She helps them navigate through these changes with joy and fun. And she's just a really wonderful, fun-loving person, which you're going to find out in a few minutes when I let her talk. But anyway, so some of the other things she does, she's a speaker, obviously, because I met her when we were both speaking. She's also a life coach. And another amazing thing that she does is she's an oncologist for our fur babies. And to me, that's just a wonderful thing to do because, you know, we love them unconditionally the way they unconditionally love us, right? So I'm going to stop talking now and just let her say hi, and then I have a few questions I'm going to ask her. You're on.
Thank you so much, Sharon, and it's such an honor and a pleasure to be able to be here, and thank you all of you for joining us.
Awesome. So one of the biggest things that what I'm trying to help people with right now is, you know, with all this virus stuff going on, is we're really struggling at times on how to cope with and embrace change, right? As a matter of fact, that's what I called my little group that I started, which she is a part of as well. So I wanted to talk with some other people and ask them, like, first of all, what kind of things are you seeing within your business, your life, your clients, that people are struggling with as far as the main things that they're struggling with as far as change goes right now?
A lot of people just, in general, a lot of people just having challenge even with their own feelings.
Right.
And a lot of people, you know, when changes happen, many of us don't realize that any changes that's significant enough in our daily life can cause a lot of stress, and any impactful stress are actually grief.
Right.
Grief by definitions, grief, the definition by the Grief Recovery Institute is conflicting feelings that caused by change in our familiar routine. And right now, everything is unfamiliar for anybody, including you and I, Sharon. And so,
exactly.
yeah. And so many people just like trying to, and it's kind of like knock people off their feet, and they're trying to get back on their feet. So to say, for many of us, and trying to adjust from moment to moment, and basically in sometimes it's day to day, but nowadays it's like every hour to hour, team changes.
News or on Facebook or, you know, anywhere else. But I did want to mention one thing you said that really hit me is that you know, major change is grief, because here's the thing. We are grieving. Our life was this way, and all of a sudden,
yes, exactly.
So we're grieving the loss of what we knew. Would you agree with that?
Yes, we're grieving the loss, the comfort of what we knew. And then there is another layer of grief, which is the insecurity and not knowing what's the future going to be. A lot, you know, we want, as human now, we want security, and we want to know that we will be able to have a home, we will be able to have a job, and all these things that we would love to happen. And now it's like, would I have a job tomorrow? Would I have a home? What's gonna happen to my car? Would somebody I love, you know, and been having health challenge be around next year? And so it's multiple layer. It's not just the loss of the familiar, but it's multiple layer of grief. And
tons of things, tons of directions. Our ego brain and our little separate self is thinking of all these things that could happen, might happen. But I also wanted to mention, I believe, okay, so we think that we're in control of all these things in our life. And there's a part of me that believes we're only in control of a little tiny bit. But the most important thing during these times that we can control is how we react, right?
Yeah.
So what is your biggest tip, or kind of give me an idea of the path you lead your clients down as far as what's the best thing for them to focus on and think about and look at right now?
So it's interesting that you say that, that we think that we're in control of many things, and we would love to think that, but but the truth is the only thing that, like you imply, the only thing that we are in control is ourselves. Right. Our mind and our heart. And so the biggest tip that a couple tips that I have for my for people that I work with, and the number one is to be in control by noticing what you
pay attention to what you're thinking or acting or what.
Noticing what you're thinking, noticing what you're feeling, and noticing your actions. Because when everything changes and things like that, like what's happening right now, and we're grieving and we're unsettled, two things that happen. First of all, our mind tend to just run off, and it's a survival skill, but we tend to imagine the worst. Right. And when we imagine the worst, if you just imagine there is a boogeyman in your closet right now, there is a murderer in your closet waiting to jump out and kill you, you will notice that your heart going to go faster. It's going to run faster. And so same thing when we're imagining the worst with this COVID-19, it's going to impact our physiologic condition and stress us out. And we know that stress lowers our immune competence, which is not something we want to do right now. So noticing what are we thinking, what are we feeling, and we can choose accordingly to not be overwhelmed. We can accordingly choose to not imagine the worst, because you can imagine the worst, or you can just deal with what it is that's in the moment.
The thing is, we don't know, and I love when you said the thing about the boogeyman in the closet, right?
Yeah.
Because one of the things I teach is that you think there's a monster under the bed, but there's really not a monster under the bed. But it takes courage to look and show yourself there is no monster under the bed, right?
Exactly.
So I think these times are asking us to be courageous, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I started doing, and maybe you can share some of the things you're doing, is like I started taking a bubble bath in the mornings,
which is
starting my day out in a calm, relaxed, after I meditate, because I meditate every day, but just like being in that luxury and just trying to keep myself calm, and because there's stress that we're not aware of,
which is actually the second tip that I have, which is be kind. And it's not just be kind to others. It's not just be kind to others, which we want to be mindful, because when we stress, we might snap or something, right? You mentioned I'm an oncologist, and I still work a couple days a week at the hospital. And one of our the people in the hospital, from the stress, actually, just kind of lose it completely with a client. And so we want to be kind, but not just to others, but even more importantly, like you say, we want to be kind to ourselves. And to be kind to ourselves, which is like what you say, is taking good care of yourself. And then also the other important part of being kind to ourselves is to actually not demand ourselves to be one way or the other. When things happen like this, we might do something, or we might even think something, and then later on we're like, why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why did I even think that way? And I catch myself doing that, I was rolling my eyes at the at life. I think I was, at life last weekend, when I had to go to 4 different grocery just to find vegetable. I'm like, really? And so I'm like, okay, later on I said, okay, that was not that skillful, but not demand ourselves to be in one way. Just be kind to ourselves, knowing that
you're gonna react in ways. You know what I do? It's funny. Like if I snap, I really do. I stop and go, oh hell, I just went someplace I shouldn't have.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't feel terrible about it. I acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Because by acknowledging it, then, there's a couple of things happen. It shifts my energy, but it also gives me permission to say, hey, you're human. Okay, so what?
Exactly. Well, human, we try the very best. The truth is all of us try the very best we could at the moment. At the moment it happened, right. We always try the very best we could. Now we might look back and say, oh, we could have done this and that. Now if you snap at somebody, then you can always say, hey, I'm so sorry, I wasn't quite myself. But don't be harsh to yourself. Don't add extra stress to ourselves by saying, oh, I should have done this, I could have done that, and just be present. Be present. Yeah. Be okay and be present.
So are you doing anything different, like in the way you start your day, or for yourself personally, what are you doing differently to cope with and embrace the change?
So a couple things. The first thing is I make sure that I keep up with certain practice. The number one is to my gratitude practice. I actually have a gratitude group on Facebook. If anybody want to, even just sometimes reading other people's gratitudes is helpful in this kind of situation that we're going on. But I keep up with my gratitude practice because, as we know, there's a lot of benefit from gratitude. Not to at the very least, kind of make you kind of get grounded, so to say, that yes, we still have a roof over our head, we still have internet. And so keep up with my gratitude practice very, very well. I do that at least 3 times a day for myself. And then make sure good self-care. Like we know, like all the gym and the health studio and everything closed, right? So I make sure that I do my stretches and make sure that I have enough sleep and things like that. So I keep up I keep my immune system strong and my body strong and healthy.
I've been doing that too. I just want to stop you right there because I want to make sure that people understand that one of the biggest things with stress is lack of sleep, and that really diminishes your immune system, right?
And then and then it's make you when it diminishes your immune system, but when you're tired and you're not sleeping, then you are even more wired. So it's like an evil cycle.
Yeah, and you're crankier too. You have more things you've got to just let go and forgive yourself for, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Lack of sleep can really, ask any new parent, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Lack of sleep is not fun. It's hard. And you're kind of foggy-headed too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So those are wonderful tips. And thank you so much for sharing of yourself and for being out there on the forefront of, you're a healer. We're all healers in our own right. But a lot of people are just afraid to put it out there because of their own issues. But, we're all in this together, right?
Yes.
So tell people how they can find you if they need to. Listen, y'all are going to love her website name.
So you can find me a few ways. First of all, I am on I'm on LinkedIn, Birgit Tan, and Birgit spelled B as in boy, I, R, G as in George, I, T as in Thomas, T as in Thomas, E. And
I'll
then
put all the links below here.
So Birgit Tan, I am on Facebook. Birgit Tan, Birgit Pony Tan. I'm in LinkedIn. My website as well as my Facebook business website is From Grieving to Joyful Living.
Don't y'all love that? From grieving to joyful living. So right now we're all grieving our past. So let's look forward to our joyful future, right?
And one last really quick tip, if I may. One thing is to find a reason to laugh. I mentioned earlier to do this, to navigate through this with more ease and fun, through our tough time. Laughing, we know laughing has a physiologic benefit and an emotional and mental benefit. So go find a reason to laugh. There is a lot of funny things.
Haven't they? You're a doctor, so you heard it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you so much for spending your time with me, and for the tips that you shared with everyone. And yeah, go out and have a fabulous day. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.